Hello everyone and welcome back. We're going to jump into game 4 now. It's going to be on Tal'Darim Altar, so it could be a pretty interesting match here, depending on their spawn locations, of course. We'll jump right in that game after this quick message from our sponsors.
Listen up, StarCraft II players. If you're one of those competitive online gamers, Beyond Gaming has something awesome for you. Introducing BGLink. It's a small, light application that will let you join SC2 matches and tournaments on BeyondGaming.com without even opening a web browser. The best part is, while you have the application open, it will recognize when you start your official BG match against your opponent, record your StarCraft II match data and stats, and automatically report it to BG. No more filing disputes because your opponent rage quit and didn't report match results like on other sites. All you have to do is input your BNet name into the settings of the application and start joining matches. The best part is all this functionality is absolutely free. All you need to do is go to BeyondGaming.com, register a free account, and download the app now.
Yet again, apologize for showing the X-Split. Just want to see if I can get the scoreboard set up. Is that correct? No, it's not. Oh god, every time it's the wrong one. Alright, well, apologies guys. You know what I'm gonna do? Well, I can't do this live. If I had dual screens, I'd set it up, sorry. Just know that the score is actually 2-1 in Machine's favor. I do apologize. We'll have these overlays sorted out next week. This is our, the first time doing this, and I just moved in, we're getting everything set up, so I apologize for all these technical difficulties and everything. We're still getting the computer set up. But it is 2-1 in favor of Machine, by the way, for all the people that were asking in chat. Spoiler alert, if you're going to go watch the Huck vs. Idra match in VODs, close your ears, mute your sound, whatever. But we saw that Idra won 3-1 against Huck. So we'll see if Machine can continue the same upset of Zerg that really feels uncomfortable in CVP winning in that matchup. Or if EG.iNcontroL can start to pull a comeback here. Oh, look at that pool timing from Machine, throwing out some cheese here. He knows he's up 2-1. He knows statistically it's just so it's so much better from the cheese right now, and to try to take that quick, easy win if his opponent messes up, especially on a map like this where you have a pretty wide choke point leading up into your natural, and everyone's going to forge expand. And then if it fails, he can at least fall back onto game 5. He's going to drone scout though, try to figure out where his opponent is. Pulled it back complete. We'll see if EG.iNcontroL is able to successfully defend against this. I mean, on cross positions, it's certainly it's pretty fortunate for him essentially that he got that 33% chance of cross positions. So pretty unfortunate for Machine. That's what happens when you take a risk and do this type of a build. But with that amount of space, we should, depending on his economy and everything, we should see EG.iNcontroL able to drop down the extra buildings he needs to wall off while he waits for that cannon to get up. We'll see if Machine's able to be successful though. First 6 units are out. Look at that pile. Our probe is already scouted. EG.iNcontroL knows exactly what's up here. So he's getting ready to throw out that cannon. He's got to be careful about that drone trying to block him. Might want to send an extra probe over there just to be ready. Nice drone block by Machine, but he doesn't quite get the cannon stopped. Probe is starting to die though. He needs to pull another probe right now. A drone will kill a probe in a straight up 1v1 fight unless you get the probe time to regen shields. Where did he just spend money on? Oh, okay. He's making his cannon his main. So interesting that he would actually even add the cannon here at all and add the cannon in the main. Maybe he just wants to buy time while the Zerglings kill this cannon so he can get that cannon up and running. It'll cancel this cannon. But I'm pretty surprised he didn't just throw up like gateway, and block off. But that means we'll just be going into one base versus one base here. That's what I was talking about in, I don't even remember which match, about how some Zergs like to just do this type of a build and force the Protoss onto a one base play, which is something they're just not traditionally as confident and comfortable with, especially now that everyone's doing Forge Expand all the time. EG.iNcontroL probably doesn't need that cannon there. He just wants to be extra safe. I mean, when you're up against 6 pool, especially if you have a probe out here scouting. Oh, unfortunately that forward pawn will be scouted out. He needs a mineral glitch. Oh, he doesn't quite get it. That really sucks to not have that scouting information. You need to find out. At this point in time, theoretically, you should be able to keep your probe alive for an extremely long amount of time because the Zerglings don't have speed yet. Not an extremely long amount of time. It isn't Brood War, but you want to check and see if the Zerg's got gas, how many drones they have, because sometimes when players do this build, they actually just go ahead and make a whole bunch more lings and then just go kill you, and that's why you need the extra cannon. But other times, they're just going to drone. Like, probably 90% of the time, they're just going to drone, so this extra cannon is unfortunately going to put EG.iNcontroL just, another 150 minerals behind on his Nexus timing when he finally does try to take that expansion. Or, you could say on, like, his extra gateway timing, something like that. Pretty surprised no second gas just yet here. He's actually adding on a second gate. He's just going to 4-gate or something. Maybe it'll just be a... Oh, sorry, mic in my mouth there. Maybe it'll just be a 3-gate expand, but You would probably have that second gas for that. I can't imagine why you wouldn't have it. You got to get those sentries out. Zerglings are getting some good scouting. He's going to see his 3-gate. The core is just finishing, and he sees no second gas. So Machine knows exactly what's up here. And we just see a Stalker being chrono boosted. Definitely a great decision, because you know when you're doing this build that the Zerg is not going to have gas, and they're not going to have speed coming up anytime soon. And early Stalkers are just so fantastic dealing with Zerglings without speed. You can just kite them all day. And what that allows you to do is get great map control. The Zerg really can't hold the Zanaga towers if you're just running around them. They can't deny you from taking your expansion anymore. The Lings basically have to just run away. There's just not much he's going to be able to do now, so a nice choice, but with that late second gas, the sentry count is going to be pretty low. And you know, with just a Stalker, this is one of those situations where, well, Machine didn't have his gas for quite some time, but this is one of the situations where if he did add his gas and got speed, it's like if you just go ahead and make like 12 more Lings and you just send them to your opponent's base, if you have no sentries because you've just really gotten your gas that late, you're not going to be able to defend against it at all. That many Lings, you're just not going to be able to. So if you just make Zealots, they'll just run around your Zealots and go into the main or something, kill off your cannons or kill off your gas. You know, obviously, yeah, there's cannons defending, but there's still places you can be aggressive. So Control does have to be careful with his style. Still hasn't thrown on his Nexus yet, though. Seems to really like playing very safe. Make sure he doesn't throw it up too quickly. In fact, he's just going to go for some aggression, setting up a forward pylon here to warp it on the upper ground. Not in vision of Machine's over. Oh, it is barely. Look at how just on the edge of vision range, and that immediately triggers Machine to throw up 2 spines. A really good decision. Of course, the placement is a little bit questionable since you know the pylon's down there. Units can be warping in down there. Forward pylon being put up on the upper ground as well, so no chance of the lack of upper ground vision hurting in control here. Although that cannon, actually, that pylon will be taken out. But he's got units on the upper ground, trying to pick off those spines. Nice. Target fires the first spine. He forces a cancel on that immediately. Another spine tries to get set up by a Machine. Oh, he gets blocked by his own Lings. He hasn't realized yet. Oh, he's got to get those cannons, those spines going. EG.Control hasn't added a 4th gate, so he's definitely he's taking the Nexus behind this, but he's trying to be quite aggressive. 1 spine is done, second one being added. Looks like he's not stopped the aggression. He's starting to move forward with a bunch of Zealots, 6 Zealots, 3 Stalkers here. So we got 3 Warpins worth of units. There are quite a few Lings. Zergling speed, though, is only a quarter of the way done. So that makes it very hard for Machine to effectively defend here. Doesn't have the creature between his bases either, so that Queen has to walk so slowly to get over there. At least he does have double Queen to defend here. But he keeps having to reposition, cancel spines. Control doing a great job just keeping up just a little bit of pressure. 16 Lings on the way, though. Control's got to be careful. If those 16 Lings come out and he gets speed and he just surrounds everything that Control has, EG.Control can end up losing a lot. Look at that. He's keeping a lot of the Lings hidden as well. Now he's going to start moving out. He's going to go for the surround on the Stalkers. He's getting surround on the Zealots as well. Unfortunately, that spine did go down. The next one not quite done, but look at this. The entire army from EG.Control is now going to die. And this is an off position for EG.Control because now look at this. Speed's about to complete. And these Lings can just go counterattack. And it's like, well, what do? You have to just fully wall. That's like your only option. And even that, with only 3 sentries, the Lings could probably like do some damage to the wall, force maybe some extra units to be warped in. It's unfortunate his speed's so late, though. You can see if he had it just, like 30 seconds earlier, he probably could have got to EG.Control's base before EG.Control would have been prepared, would have forced some early force fields, and would have had him left over later on. And a nice force field just traps a couple Lings. No big deal. But unfortunately, Machine unable to be aggressive. That means EG.Control now is on 2 base. Probably see Machine just go ahead and take out rocks to try to take a 3rd of his own. Maybe we'll see him drop a second gas and go for some tech off 2 base, but I doubt it on Tal'Darim. You're gonna wanna get that macro going. This is an excellent map for Mutas. Such a fantastic map for Mutas. The bases are really disjointed, disconnected, and there's a lot of these weird like choke points. You always have to like wall off this area. Your units can just get kind of choked up and convoluted. So maybe we'll see him go for that later on. There's really no kind of sign that would point to that yet. Just basically saying it's a possibility, of course. We do see Evo Chamber being started. He wants to make sure he's not going to lose something silly like DTs or Stargate units. Also be able to get those upgrades. He is mining gas. There's the lair. Very quick lair coming up, so not saving up that gas to get +1 melee, even though he has quite a few Lings. And look at that, going straight up to 3 gas. See if he drops the 4th one as well. He is going to drop a Roach one there, though, so could just be Roach Muta. Could be some... I can't really imagine him going Roach Hydra on this map. The only way you could do that is with Nidus. It's certainly a possibility. It's just unlikely. Oh, double Stargate coming out here from EG.Control, and it has not been scouted. Machine, unfortunately, these overlords are sitting outside of his base, so he's not actually going in to scout that out. He's not going to know that's coming, and this could be just brutal. It's one of those situations where double Stargate's just straight up one of those builds that if you scout it coming, it's like so pathetically easy to hold off, and if you don't, it can be disastrous. Now, of course, it can get very crazy for both players. Like, if the Zerg makes, you know, a slight mistake in their Queen micro, sometimes things can spiral out of control when the Void Rays all of a sudden get charged up. But the same thing can happen from the Protoss perspective. We just saw in the GSL Finals that we saw Genius go for that double Stargate on Tomb Valley, and he messed up his micro just for a moment, misclicked with his Void Rays to switch targets, and then he ended up losing the game as a result. So we'll see if EG.iNcontroL has the control he needs. Oh, he's not even going for Void Rays. He's actually just going Mass Phoenix. So playing to the map and to the recent patch, of course, he'll be able to get that Phoenix range, perhaps. Actually, I hope this replay wasn't played before that patch. I'm not even sure. But we'll see. In any case, you know, to go up for double Phoenix can be a great choice because so many Zerg players love going Muta on this map. And thus, if you just go double Phoenix, it's kind of one of those things where you can't go Phoenix after Mutas are out to deal with Mutas, but if you already have that double Stargate and you already have a decent Phoenix count, then you have the infrastructure. You can just keep producing Phoenixes and you'll have more than they have Mutas. You can just kite them all day, and it can actually be effective. Overseer has got the double Stargate, though. It was taken out, even using a lift to pick off that Changeling. So now the Machine knows what's up. He's setting up Spores. Look at that, he actually canceled, what? He had an Infestation pit on the way. Did he... Alright, I'm not sure. He cancels Infestation, put up another Infestation pit. Maybe he canceled, made a Hydrogen, and canceled that again to make an Infestation pit. I'm not sure what he canceled, but he does have an Infestation pit on the way now, at the very least. But that can be a pretty hard way to deal with Mutas, to be honest. Infestors can be good if you already have Hydras, or like a lot of Queens, because you can fungal the Phoenixes when they stack up. But if you don't have a lot of support, and like an Infestor pops out, you get like a fungal off on the Phoenix, that fungal is not going to do anything for you. And Phoenix can actually just lift Infestors, and it's extremely effective on the Phoenix side of things. Like, it's actually, like, Phoenixes are actually kind of the counter to Infestors sometimes. Like, if you have, like, Neural Parasite, well, it doesn't really happen that much anymore, but back in the day before the Neural Parasite nerf, we'd see players use Phoenixes to lift up Infestors to interrupt the Neural Parasite so they could get their units back. But it's going to come out of control. And, you know, well, we have EG.iNcontroL here, so hopefully we'll have the control he needs. This is one of those builds where you can get screwed. If you make a silly mistake and you get fungled and all your Phoenixes were stacked up, yeah, then you can just lose the game because you have just invested so much into an army that just dies for like nothing. But as long as that doesn't happen, I mean, 7 Festers on the way. We'll see which side has the better control. A bunch of Lings over here as well for Machine, just trying to check and make sure there's no third coming up from EG.iNcontroL. EG.iNcontroL not moving out though. He is still just turtling off this double Stargate. So with that full wall off, not really any option for Machine to be aggressive. Looks like he's going to go and take a 4th, though. Excellent move. I mean, if you know your opponent went double Stargate and didn't even bother to build a Void Rays, it's like, oh, you still have full map control. Holding Xelonaga Towers, you know they're not going to be able to use Void Rays to deny this base. Phoenixes can't kill buildings. So definitely a good move to go take that 4th. I would like to see some better creep spread over there, of course. That would really, really help against double Stargate to be able to have mobility, not only for your Queens, but also for your Infestors. Also, Burrow. Oh my god, I'm actually really... Okay, he does have Burrow. Okay, oh, excellent. You really need Burrow to be able to play this style. You can't use Infestors without Burrow against Phoenixes. The Phoenixes will lift every Infestor and you'll lose. But as long as you have Burrow, at least you can Burrow your Infestors and then kind of like unburrow them one at a time to fungal. Looks like we might see some aggression here from EG.iNcontroL. He has a lot of units out in the middle of the map. Now he's just going to pull back since there is a certain counterattack coming into his main. He had to kill off that pylon, of course, to get out. Oh, and that hurts, but I mean, Machine's really not doing that much damage when you think about it. Killing off a gateway, it's kind of nice. Hurt your opponent's production, but you really need to be going for the probes or like pylons or some important tech structure. Just gateways is it's not that big of a deal for a Protoss to lose some gateways. You just throw some extra chrono into the warp gates you already have. Oh wow, Machine's starting to move out with a pretty big army. Phoenixes do see this though. He has 0-0 plus 1 about halfway done. Meanwhile, EG.iNcontroL does already have 1-1 with 2-1 completing. So this is, keep in mind, this is going to be a 0-0 army from EG.iNcontroL for Machine. I gotta say 2-1 army from EG.iNcontroL. Or if he waits for 1-0, it'll still be a 1-0 army from Machine against a 2-1 army from EG.iNcontroL. So these upgrades are going to give a huge benefit to EG.iNcontroL here. Will it be enough for him to hold off, though? This is quite a big army. 180 food to 130 right now, but of course that is quite a bit inflated since roaches do take up 2 food for only 75 minerals, 25 gas, whereas, you know, stalkers are spending 125 minerals, 50 gas for that same 2 food. So in the army tab, you can see that they're actually pretty close in actual cost, but oh, a great blink forward and a lift on the Infestors. Oh my god, that hurts so much for Machine, and great forces as well. Machine does not have that burrowed movement, and all these roaches just kind of running around. Oh, this is exactly what you don't want in an engagement. Zergling's getting caught out as well. But that really, really hurts when, you know, it's just, if you stop paying attention to your Infestors for even just a moment and they blink forward, they can pick them off so easily. It can be really, really brutal, and to lose that much gas worth of units that quickly. Now, he did deny the third base of control, but this is a situation we see so many times from Zerg players where they end up sacrificing about 80 food worth of roaches just to get a Nexus. And while it's like, yeah, you want to deny this Protoss third, that's definitely a huge part of ZVP metagame right now. That is a lot of what you need to do. It's not enough to sacrifice that much of an army. It's not worth like 80 food worth of roaches, unfortunately. So that is going to put Machine a little bit farther behind here on his army. He didn't have that much of a bank to rebuild. He is rebuilding. But keep in mind he had to rebuild all those infestors, so they're coming out with just enough energy to throw out one fungal each. Roaches are being rebuilt, but he hasn't really continued his upgrades. He finally has plus one Carapace on the way, but to just be at 1-0 against a Protoss that's got 2-1 Blink Stalkers, I mean, we've seen it time and time again. The upgrades really make a big difference in this this type of engagement. Phoenix is coming in to lift up the infestors. They do get them nice lifts on a lot of the higher energy infestors. Stalkers blinking back. Are we going to see the Guardian Shield? Force Field something here. There we go. Guardian Shield does go down. He's moving into position to try to help out those Stalkers. Looks like InControl should have enough to kill this off, but it is going to be close, and the reinforcements might be enough for Machine to hold this off. And of course, InControl has reinforcements as well. Can blink Stalkers across the map. Oh, a lot of infested Terrans getting thrown down. There's the burrow on those infestors, but there are like no roaches left, so this is starting to look pretty bleak for Machine. He's got 40 lings coming out. So, I'm not sure if he'll actually be able to deal with this with just lings. Fortunately for him, InControl has actually gotten pretty low on sentry energy. Only has 1 sentry left over. Oh, he's got to be careful. He's going to that sentry to infested Terrans. Oh my god, it does go down to that last infested Terran shot. That really does hurt when you're going to be up against mass ling. So maybe Machine will be able to break this down. He does have 150 food to the 110 of InControl right now, but InControl's third is on the way. He was able to finally take out that burrowed roach over there and take that out. Keep in mind, though, Machine's been on 4 base this whole time. His economy is pretty darn good. 78 drones against 59 probes. His gas economy is much higher as well since he's been on 4 base. So he can afford to rebuild those infestors. Oh, an Ultralisk cavern on the way. I love that move when you already have a lot of infestors. Especially when your opponent has a lot of Phoenixes, of course, you can't lift the Ultras, it's not going to help against that. A lot of Blink Stalkers, it seems like, well, they can just kite the Ultras. Well, if you have Fungal and you use Ultras, it's actually fantastic. They can't kite away, and you're not only dealing bonus damage to Armored, you're dealing splash bonus damage to Armored. So, especially with a lot of good melee upgrades, this can be an excellent style to use, and it's good for this map. This is not... Well, Broodlords can certainly work on this map, don't get me wrong here. There's like a lot of places you can put them behind people's naturals and such, but out in the center of the map where it's like really wide open, Broodlords are not going to be that effective. They can counter pretty easily, whereas Ultras, you don't want to be in those small choke points. You want to be out in the open, so you can get good surrounds, so you're not going to get just punished by your opponent, really using a choke point with Colossi. So we'll see how well this ends up working out for Machine. The problem with Ultras is that while they can be extremely efficient and can be extremely effective, that's a little bit weird on that Zergling hold position, they can be extremely effective. At the same time, if you micro them improperly, they can just look like the biggest joke. We see players all the time saying these things like, oh, when you want to lose, go Ultras. Now, that's a joke, and it's certainly not true. Ultras are great units when used properly, but it's hard to use them properly. And that can be illustrated whenever you watch professional Korean matches. Even some of the best Zergs in the world, they still mess up their Ultra and Infestor control and end up losing games. So, I totally don't mean this as offense to Machine, but if people like Dongringu are messing it up, it's really, really hard to not mess it up when your mechanics aren't at that level of having like 300 APM and such, and just being really, really confident in the game. I love this burrowed Zergling. Always got to do stuff like that. Players like TSL Revival, and you'll see players do that all the time. So efficient, such an effective way to just slow down your opponent at expanding, especially if they go for a build that doesn't involve a robo, so you don't have that detection. Robos have been added, though, from InControl. He's starting to double produce Immortals, so it can be a great way to deal with a high number of roaches, but at the same time, and it'll be great against the Ultras as well, at the same time, Mass Ling is going to be pretty darn good against that. Infestors will be as well. Oh, an excellent Fungal. I didn't think he could hit all of them. Perfect placement, does barely hit every single one of those Phoenixes, and that's going to kill those off. Excellent, excellent help. That's going to make it so that they cannot go ahead and lift those infestors in the fights. Unfortunately, no Neuroparasite, though, so you won't be able to Neuroparasite these Ultras. Force Field's going down, but of course being stomped down by the Ultras. Oh my god, Machine just coming in for this engagement, but there are 5 Immortals right now just dealing so much damage with no Lings left over. The Immortals are just decimating the Roaches and Ultras. You really need those infested Terrans or Lings out before your Ultras run in. If the Ultras run in and they're just being target fired down, you just take way too much bonus to armor, and we can see that Machine essentially just lost his entire army there. Now, granted, he did double expand behind it, so that's fantastic, but he didn't really take out that much of InControl. He did take out some sentries, took out a little bit of the army, but there are still 4 immortals left. Sentries are being rebuilt. He's still got double immortal production. 6 more ultras and 54 lings on the way. You gotta be careful when you do this, because you want the ultras, but more important than the ultras are the infestors. Ultras are great, but it's really ultra infestor that's great. Ultras by themselves are actually kind of garbage. So, I mean, Ultra Link can be awesome as well, especially Ultra Baneling. Oh, I love that he's adding that Baneling nest as well. I mean, it's such a good combination. The Ultras bust down force fields, which is the #1 way Protosses deal with Banelings. And then, you know, the Banelings just go ahead and stream right in. We also see Ventral Sacks on the way, so could go for some either like mass drops in the main, maybe he'll go for some Baneling drops onto the army. We'll see which way he ends up using that. Dropping Ultras on the army would be pretty cute, but obviously it doesn't actually make that much of a difference. It just helps them get in there instead of, you know, taking damage from the Colossi on their way in. Colossi are another one of those things where, you know, if you don't have the Fungal, the Colossi are going to kite back away from your Ultras. You really, really need Fungal to actually be effective. Machine is at 2-2 upgrades. He's got that 3-3 on the way. Whereas, of course, InControl's at 3-2 with 3-3 on the way as well. So he's actually a little bit ahead still. InControl's been ahead pretty much all game on upgrades. Really, really helping him here. Oh, and a couple good force fields do catch about half of those links. A lot of them do escape. It's always good to pick off any free kills whenever you can. Meanwhile, Machine, you know, unfortunately, even though he's got all these bases, and he's got a great economy set up right now, he doesn't have creep spread really connecting out into the center of the map or into these other bases, so it's going to make it a lot harder for him to actually be mobile and defend on all fronts. What's great is that he has great map control at these Zerg towers. These Zerglings are just, I mean, if you don't have those, and you're just sitting back with your army and you have no vision, the Protoss could attack you at any location at any time and you have no idea what's coming and you'll be out of position and you'll definitely lose at least one base. But if you have every Zerg tower held, all of a sudden it's like from his vision, you just totally see the army coming, and on a huge map like this, it's so easy when you see an army coming to actually set up just perfect flanks and an excellent surround. It's really, if you're given that amount of time to prepare ahead of time, it really just helps you set that kind of stuff up. So Banelings are out. Baneling speed only halfway done, though. He desperately needs that upgrade to be able to engage in this army. 4th base is up, though, from InControl, and he's starting to go into Templar tech as well. Some Templar being morphed in. Actually, they are being just made into Archons. Can be very helpful against Massling and Baneling, whereas, you know, Storm not going to be quite as effective against, you know, all those Ultras. And Lings can kind of run out of it, but it's pretty hard to do. Lings just going to go for a counterattack over here at the 4th. Whoa, targeting the Nexus! Wow, that's, I mean, if it's effective, that's fantastic. Well, in fact, InControl didn't pull his probes. Oh my god! He ends up losing the Nexus! Wow, great move by Machine taking that out. I did not think he was going to get it, but you got to pull your probes and attack off all the links to get them off their ASAP. Unfortunately, he was still mining, so he did end up losing that 4th, and now InControl just a little bit of a bind, since he is going to be up against a 6-base Zerg on only 3 bases of his own right now. So this kind of puts him into just a little bit of an all-in position. He does have a mothership on the way, but you can see him just moving forward for a push out here. Machine does have 200, but, you know, we've definitely seen plenty of times in ZVP where a Protoss army just storms through and Zerg's unable to rebuild quick enough, unable to deal with that death ball. So InControl will be smartly waiting for that mothership, though, not going to go for the all-in. Can be pretty risky, especially like you don't know if your opponent has like all those Broodlords set up. He does have an observer right here, but you know, it can't scout everywhere at once. Greater Spire only 2/3 of the way done, though, so that's actually pretty risky to make 18 Corruptors that early before your Greater Spire is done, since they're going to be, like, not useless. They can kill off Colossi, but after they kill off Colossi, useless, of course, other than that corruption ability. But once that Greater Spire finishes, you'll be able to add on a ton of those. The question is going to be, how good is his spread going to be? Because it's going to come down to the Vortex. This is where this matchup comes down to a lot of the time. And you hear QQ on both sides, of course. Zergs complain about how ridiculous Vortex is, and it is ridiculous. And then Protoss players on the other side complain that it's like the only way to beat Infestor Broodlord. But we'll see who ends up having the better control. That's what it ends up coming down to, is control. You know, if the Protoss has really good Vortexes and the Zerg army's clumped up, and then they can, you know, bring in Archons and Storms, they will usually win. Whereas if the Zerg player spreads out their Broodlords in a really, really great, huge, wide open arc, it's hard to do, but if you can do it, then the Vortexes aren't nearly as effective, and usually the Zerg player end up coming out on top if you can keep the majority of your Broodlords outside of those Vortexes. Simzal harassed, trying to do some damage over here, but Machine did have Spine set up, so wasn't really able to do too much damage. Just waiting for these Baneling drops. I know when it actually happens, I'm going to miss it. So I'm like, just frantically waiting and hoping. Oh, there it is. He's going to go for a Baneling drop over here into the 4th. Oh, so many probes could go down here. Nice reaction times. Only loses about 4 probes there. But the Baneling speed, actually, they're running straight. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, good. He does run on those probes away. That was ridiculously close there. Pretty scary. we're looking at just 18 worker kills total this game. 78 drones to 49 probes, actually, so pretty decent damage overall. Still has one Banelane, of course. With its melee upgrades, you can actually just one... Oh, actually, not with the armor upgrades. Never mind, I can. No, it cannot. Maybe some more Zealots over here from EG.iNcontroL can go and force some aggression, but there's Ultras, there's Spines. Machine's pretty well defended. He's even going to take this base over here on kind of quote-unquote EG.iNcontroL side of the map. At least the direction he's been expanding towards. Machine, of course, has that Chitin splitting, has 3-5 on his Ultras. They do have 6 armor. So sick. We do have 3-3 from EG.iNcontroL, but no shield upgrades, so these Archons just a little bit weaker than maybe they would be. He's got to be careful. He's going for the aggression, though. Machine's got to consolidate his army. He's got like 4 Ultras just kind of attacking by themselves over here. Looks like he's going to go for a flank, though, with all these Broodlords. He's out in the middle of the map, though. This is where Broodlords are not as effective if the Stalkers can just blink under them, especially if they get vortexed. There is enough energy for one Vortex right now. He's got to keep these units very well spread out. That's got to be the number one thing he's doing right now is just spreading out these Broodlords as much as possible. All those Corruptors in a bit of the same spot, though. He's trying to tire fire down the mothership. He does get it, and the Vortex, look at that. It doesn't get almost anything, actually. So this is looking pretty brutal for EG.iNcontroL right here, but there's just not a ground army to support when there's only the Broodlords. And there's like no, you know, not infestors here. There's not like a lot of roaches or hydras. These Broodlords should get taken out. Although there's not much anti-air, these Archons should be able to move forward and take out the Broodlords thanks to the Colossus support, able to take out those Broodlings so quickly. And that hurts for Machine, even though he's able to rebuild quicker. I mean, 11 Ultras and 14 Lings on the way. To lose all those Broodlords really does hurt. But it looks like he's taking out the majority of the Colossi. Oh, he's going to lose that last Corruptor. That does suck to have that one Colossus still alive. But EG.iNcontroL still has 4 Sentries, 5 Immortals, and an Archon. Certainly still has a pretty scary army here, but Machine has kind of the map. He doesn't have the whole map, but he's got a lot of bases. Let's put it that way. He should be able to rebuild and deal with this, but yet again, he's just using Ultras. He's not using Infestors, and you really need those Infestors late game. I mean, these Ultras, I mean, Colossi can just walk up and down cliffs against them. Zealots are going to prevent them from getting to the armored units that they want to be attacking. It's just not an ideal situation at all. You really need those Infestors. Oh, and it looks like he's going to lose this base. We'll definitely end up losing that top left base as well, unless EG.iNcontroL doesn't scout it out. Looks like some Ultras maybe just going to go for a counterattack down here, but look at that pretty nice Sim City setup from EG.iNcontroL. He's got Zealots in front. He's got this Templar here as well for a Storm. Although this third, a little bit less defended, just those cannons kind of out in the center. Maybe these Ultras just going to target fire down on the Warp Gates. They're picking off those Zealots, going off on the Warp Gates. The cannon goes down, might even pick off the Templar Archives. Could be pretty annoying for EG.iNcontroL not be able to rebuild those Templar when he, well, actually doesn't have that much gas yet. It was really a Machine that has all that gas. Would love to see him make a whole bunch of Infestors. But, Corruptors, oh, a Nidus Worm coming up. Oh my god, a Nidus in the main! And EG.iNcontroL is not spotted. Oh, there it is, a 5 Zealot Warp in. Should be able to take that out in time. Yeah, that'll go down. Nice reaction times, even though he's trying to defend and micro his army. It's something that's hard to do. Colossi cutting back, but the Ultras do get one of them. So the one will be back here, but he's throwing away Ultras. I mean, it seems like, yeah, he killed a base for it, but it's still throwing away Ultras to not get much of the army in terms of this is a very efficient engagement here from EG.iNcontroL. And that's a lot of gas to throw away. Like, those Ultras are really expensive. Another Nidus. Oh, this one finishes before the Zealots could get warped in! Unfortunately, you don't want to be bringing Lings through a Nidus. That's not... Unfortunately, that's like the most inefficient way to do it, because they unload one at a time at the same speed regardless of which unit it is. So you could unload like one Ultra at a time, or one Roach at a time, one Hydra at a time, or one Ling at a time. When you unload those Lings, it happens so slowly. So unfortunately, I mean, maybe it would have been able to stop those Zealots from killing off that Nidus. But it's really just going to pull the army back from EG.iNcontroL. That's really the main thing here, is that's preventing EG.iNcontroL from being aggressive, so Machine's able to get this base established. Definitely needs to get gas up here, though. And continue taking bases as well. He's really starting to get mined out in quite a lot of locations. You can see this base, which really doesn't have many drones on it at all, and this base, there is only 2 real bases. This one's pretty much mined out, other than the fact that he has gas, of course, at a lot of his bases. So we're looking at 66 drones to 51 probes, and EG.iNcontroL, oh, he's like all the way mined out. This is, I mean, he's long distance mining over here, so Machine definitely still ahead economically. But Dark Shrine on the way. Oh man, late game DTs. We do see Spore Spines set up in multiple locations. Will it be enough, though? None at this position, so it could be a little bit risky if EG.iNcontroL doesn't know that. I just have my nice little towering view from above. I get to see everything that these players are doing. He's going to come in here for some aggression. Just try to pick off some of these probes. This will keep EG.iNcontroL a little bit more contained as well. Look how little anti-air he has in his army. Colossi, Zealots, Immortals, and sentries with just 3 stalkers. So it's really almost no anti-air at all, and a Nidus is going to come up as well. He does have stalkers that are going to be able to pick that off, though. I like the move, though, trying to use the mutas to preoccupy the units while he gets a Nidus. Much more long-distance mining happening here. And Machine, his food's not really going up. He is at 130 food with a lot of money, so desperately needs some macro and make sure he doesn't get caught off guard by an attack from EG.iNcontroL, because EG.iNcontroL is still up on food. If he just attacked into Machine, it might be successful. It's still hard to attack into Spines and Banelings and Broodlords and Infestors and everything. But Machine just has to make sure he doesn't start falling behind in food, because EG.iNcontroL is doing a great job of spending his money, and Machine unfortunately is not, and that could end up coming back to bite him. Unfortunately, still no shield upgrades, but not the biggest deal. He is using a lot of Zealots here, which don't have that many shields. Uh-oh, Sharking Infestors going down here to try to pick off a couple of these probes, perhaps. Is there an observer with this? Oh, there is no observer with this army. Uh-oh. Burrow could be extremely effective here. If used very intelligently. A lot of Infested Terrans going down there. May have been a little bit of a waste, since EG.iNcontroL can kind of just run away. But, oh well, at least he's denying mining, and EG.iNcontroL really just mining on this one base now. You see a little bit of a better income from Machine, but not hugely. He did transfer a lot of drones over here now. And this base is fully saturated with double gas as well. Looks like he might just go ahead and get ready to take a couple more bases here. No, not the bottom right. There is a Dark Templar there, hiding out and watching. Did he get any kills? No, he did not. Uh-oh, a Baneling drop moving forward, but he's got to be careful because he's walking right into an army. Oh, and both those Overlords go down. I would love to see some Baneling mines, man. Like, I know it doesn't happen in ZVP, but just like no observer of this army, that would be the sickest thing ever to pick off those sentries. And it looks like EG.iNcontroL just can go ahead and take this top left base. I like this. This is a choice almost no paralysis make, because they don't want to take out the rocks first. Just go take this base and drop cannons. But this position is just going to be a little bit more defended up against the wall. And that position is going to be pretty sick for EG.iNcontroL. Whereas Machine is trying to defend, of course, all along the right side of the map. So these guys are pretty much split up here. And where is that Nidus? I am so blind. I don't see a pink dot in his base. Where is it? Oh, okay, here it is. So you made Nidus over here, but there's actually no base. So no big deal. EG.iNcontroL frantically trying to figure out where that was, but realizing, okay, it's not in his base. Probably expecting it to be like defensive Nidus. Can be extremely effective. To put Nidus at each of your bases and transfer units between them, but EG.iNcontroL is starting to move forward with an extremely scary army. This is one of those armies you look at and you're just like, huh, well, what do I do to beat that? It's like four Archons here, 3 Colossi, 5 Immortals, everything has +3 attacks. It's just a brutal army to be fighting against, and he does have a lot of, I mean, this is a brutal army from Zerg as well. Look at this, all these Infestors, Ultras, Broodlords, some Mutas and Corruptors as well. EG.iNcontroL looks like he's going to move forward onto this position, which is going to kind of circumvent these spines. So unfortunately, Machine doesn't have that full spine coverage, just kind of out here in the center of the map. So this could maybe catch him a little bit off guard. Oh, a Baneling drop coming in this base. Great reaction times yet again by EG.iNcontroL. Just losing a couple probes there, but not too much, not too bad. Additional bases finally being taken here from Machine. Starting to realize that these bases are going to get mined out as well, and he's got to continue moving forwards. Even making more drones. Wow, more Broodlords and Lings on the way. So just using those Lings to be for counterattacks. Just an excellent move. In this late game, the Protoss is trying to be really aggressive out on the map, and they're usually maxed, which means they can't warp in units to defend against a Zerg counterattack like this. Interesting, going after the fleet beacon to try to prevent the mothership. Yeah, I don't think a mothership's been started yet. No, it hasn't. Oh, it's already done. What am I saying? I'm totally blind to the production tab, apparently. And of course, those Lings will be taken out. But they served their purpose at least. Took out the fleet beacon. Unfortunately, the mothership's already out, though. That's a problem. And it's starting to build towards 200 energy. And we all know that moment where it just gets pretty scary for a Zerg player when 2 Vortexes get thrown down. It's like the biggest AoE radius spell in the game, and it does an insane amount to help you out. Especially if you have some Archons to send in there and Storms to throw down that army. It doesn't have Storms here, but you're starting to move forward. Are there Overseers with us? Oh, there's one Overseer. You gotta be careful. You don't want to send that up too far. Oh my god, the Overseer gets vortexed. Oh, these units are not actually able to engage onto all of these cloaked units now. That really hurts. You've got to have extra Overseers at the stage. Oh, he does have one more Overseer over here, but it looks like he's not trying to engage. I'm surprised. I guess EG.iNcontroL just wants to wait for more Vortex energy. I'm surprised Machine didn't punish him. Like, oh, you just used up your Vortex and I still have half my army out here. I'm gonna just go engage on your army. But looks like he's gonna wait, which could end up hurting him. You don't want to allow the Protoss to get back up to 100 energy for free, of course, if he doesn't have Vortex energy. Keep in mind that Vortex is like the way people beat Infestor, Broodlord, Corruptor. So without it, it's like all of a sudden this army from EG.iNcontroL is not going to be so effective against this. So he's at 75 energy. It's going to be really hard for him to win this. Machine's starting to move forward with these Broodlords. Doesn't have an insane amount of Broodlords, so he's not like massing up an insane amount of Broodlings. But it just looks like he might be waiting a little bit too long. Now EG.iNcontroL is going to have another Vortex in about 10 seconds here. Broodlord's starting to fall back. He doesn't quite have any energy yet. Oh, what's he going to go for here? What is he going to go for? Wow. Oh, a Nidus up here on the top. He's going to go for a flank up here with these units. Go towards that base. Now EG.iNcontroL has to make a decision. Does he use his army to defend? Oh, a fungal bleed on the entire army. Does the Vortex! Oh my god. Wow, Machine does not have much left outside. Oh, he is going to lose almost everything here. This is why you see a lot of players actually run into the Vortex, even though it seems counterintuitive. Like, well, why would I do that? I'm going to take more splash damage when I get out. Well, at least like you don't lose all your units halfway out. But oh my god, those Archons decimated those Broodlords. Just took them out instantaneously. He didn't have enough Infestor energy, unfortunately, to be able to throw down the 20 Infested Terrans you need to actually have the Archons out outside of the range of killing those Broodlords immediately. And now all of a sudden Machine, that how the tides have turned here. He seemed so far ahead earlier on, and now we're up to 200 food for EG.iNcontroL, 140 food for Machine, despite the fact that, remember, he was on like 3 mining bases when EG.iNcontroL was only long distance mining. So quite a feat for EG.iNcontroL to have come back into this game. And since he has kept the majority of this army alive, he's just going to be able to keep pushing forward. Let's go look at our units tab here. I mean, he's not rebuilding his mothership, so, yeah, it's alright. He's got a huge army. Doesn't necessarily need it. It would be great to add on, but even some Lings morphing and going up into an Overlord, not sure what they're doing. But a huge engagement here, and unfortunately Machine is losing all of the Lings to those Archons. Ultras are engaging on Archons as well. You really want the Ultras on the Stalkers or the Colossi, so they have that bonus damage to Armored. Unfortunately, he wasn't getting that. Everything is dying here, and you know what? We should be seeing GG, actually. And that means that it's been evened up. Oh, man. I hope my overlay is correct right now. It should read that it was 2-1 in favor of Machine. And this win from EG.iNcontroL, assuming he doesn't, I don't know, like, die of cancer and AFK at his base or something. Assuming that doesn't happen, he should even it up and bring us back to a game 5, which is always exciting. Taking out bases, but sometimes you just want to go for the throat at in this position. Just take out all the tech from the Zerg, because these bases are mined out anyways. Either way, I mean, what can Machine do? Counterattack with Lings? It's like you have a lot of cannons and a DT. There's no way those Lings are going to kill off that base, unfortunately. This poor, lonely 25 kill Colossus, not 24. Executor going down. He will be missed sorely by his friends that also have 25 and 28 kills. Those guys were just the 25 kill bunch. Just like setting records everywhere. Called Guinness Book of World Records. Like, most even Colossi ever. They don't steal kills from each other. And, you know, Machine's trying to hold on. He's trying to just make some more units, make some spines. Because this is such a hard-fought game, you know. It's like one of the most frustrating things ever in StarCraft to play a 51-minute game. Work so hard, put that much effort into it, and then end up losing. I mean, so he's displaying a valiant effort, but unfortunately, his energy might be better spent at this point, just really having it available for that 5th game. Trying to put on some... He's definitely like putting on a lot of aggression over here, but with 2 DTs and a cannon and all these probes and warpins, there's just not much he can accomplish. Every one of his bases is getting taken out. There's only one mining base left over for him. He's still losing stuff in his in the middle of the map, just to Colossi alone. Hopefully those Corruptors will actually kill those off at some point. This base was defended. A lot of probes were killed. And we're looking at 32 drones to 62 probes, though. So, and it's still 191 food to 64 food. Should be seeing GG any moment. I guess Machine is, you know, he's such a nice guy. He's trying to pull the opposite of Idra. Show Idra how you GG like fantasy and Brood War. Those of you that got that joke, props to you for being diehard Brood War fans. So, I don't want to like bore you guys with like false commentary here. This is pretty much EG.iNcontrol's game. Very, very well done. There were those close moments where Machine It looked like he was going to win. He had taken out the 4th of InControl repeatedly. He had a lot more bases himself, but he just didn't have the control he needed. There was that huge engagement that was happening over here repeatedly, and he didn't unfortunately take advantage of the fact that there was no vortex available for InControl. And he waited, and then no vortex was available, and he went for the engagement, and he lost everything, of course, to that vortex. And that essentially lost him the game, unfortunately for him. There it is, GG called out, and now we are back 2-2 between these players. Pretty crazy, guys. And what do you know? A 54-minute macro PvZ on Tal'Darim. Pretty sick game.